Okay, we can get started, Suresh.
Yep, we are ready.
Great. Good evening, all. A very warm welcome to all the chapter volunteers and our region mentor, Prasanna Sampath Kumar. Today, we have an interesting day, which is the International Volunteers Day. And to celebrate this day, we have a small event planned for you all today. And let's go through the agenda quickly and get on with this event. We move to the next slide. We have tried to keep it lightweight. We will have our welcome address from the region mentor, Prasanna. And then we have a small surprise in terms of the pat on the back for all the good work that has been happening in our region. And followed by Suresh taking us through some interesting icebreakers and motivational case studies. All this is planned in the next 1 hour, so please do take a break and enjoy the session. So moving on, we are a volunteer development program team, a group of 11 representatives from all the 11 chapters of the South Asia region. And this team is working towards upskilling and development of the volunteers across all the chapters in our region. So we are looking at the various processes that we have in terms of volunteer upskilling, volunteer engagement, and trying to enhance how a volunteer's journey through PMI gets associated, and how we can look at improvising and helping you gain some knowledge in terms of the portfolios that you're supporting, and at the same time help you through your volunteer journey through some exciting learnings also. So this is a team here, like I said, representation from all the chapters. And this team, you will be hearing more in the coming year from this team, with more frequent connects happening and more engaging sessions happening from the VDP team. With this short introduction, let me pass on the baton to Mr. Prasanna Sampath Kumar, our region mentor. Prasanna needs no introductions. In fact, he's been a region mentor for us for quite some time, and an active volunteer with the South Asia region, ex-president from Chennai chapter, and he has also delivered many talks and sessions over the past years. Prasanna, welcome and thank you for joining us today. And over to you to address our volunteers today.
Thank you, Komal. Can you confirm you can hear
Yes.
me
Yes.
well? Okay. Thanks for that introduction, but I think this is my community. And it's a part of family for me. And I don't think I need this kind of formal introduction in this atmosphere. So, good evening, everyone. A very happy International Volunteers Day to each and every one of you. On this day, I join here to express my gratitude to all the incredible volunteers of PMI South Asia. Our region has about 11 chapters, you already know that. And among those 11 chapters, we have about 110 chapter leaders, and then who are managing the chapters, and then uh, about 150 volunteers who are supporting in the chapter activities, and some global volunteers too. So in our region, roughly, we have around 300 to 350 volunteers in our region itself. So my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to each and every one of you for supporting PMI and PMI chapters. Your dedication, passion, and all the tireless efforts have been the cornerstones of our success. As they say, volunteers are the secret sauce of PMI's success. And once again, thank you for your invaluable contributions. And I hope each and every one of you have created your profile in VRMS. If not, I recommend you to do it immediately. Whoever already has a profile in VRMS has received a thank you note from PMI Global yesterday, today. So check your mails for that. From our region, like Komal mentioned, our very own VDP team has put together this event for you. And the VDP team has chosen a wonderful day to restart all the activities. So kudos to the team. Thanks for putting this wonderful event together. I'm also looking forward to see what is coming up next. And once again, to all the volunteers, continue volunteering and don't just stop with the chapter, right? You can volunteer at different levels. You can volunteer to other chapters. You can volunteer at region level. You can volunteer at global level. So again, VRMS or VEP rather. I keep telling VRMS, old habits doesn't die, right? So VEP is the new name of the platform. So create a profile in VEP and start looking for opportunities in VEP and start contributing at different levels so that that helps PMI and that helps you. So it's a win-win for everybody. And together we can, maximize the project success to elevate our work. Once again, happy Volunteers Day to all of you. Keep volunteering. Happy volunteering. Thank you. Back to you, Komal.
Thank you, Prasanna. Suresh, over to you for the rest of the session.
Thanks, Komal. Thanks, Prasanna. So we have, as Komal said, we have a small surprise planned for you. So let's see what it is. Wow, that was incredible, isn't it? Just looking at all the volunteers across R11, look at our team size, right? We can certainly make an impact. All right, so let's get started.
Before you continue, that's a wonderful video, incredible video. Thanks to the entire VDP team who worked together to put this beautiful video together. That's off.
Thanks, Prasanna. All right. So we have also another important. So another highlight to share. So Future 50 Awards is something that's given by PMI on an yearly basis. It's a leadership award that recognizes young leaders. And we are proud to say that out of 50 Future 50 honorees, 3 of them are from R11. So I think it's a great recognition for our entire R11 volunteers team. Kudos. So just to list here, we have Ankita Bhatia from North India chapter, Kaushik Chandra from Bangalore, and Ejini Devi Devarajan from Tamil Nadu. Right, so it's a great honor to have 3 folks from R11 representing the Future 50 Awards. So it's another big moment for all of us to celebrate. All right. So now it's time to sit back and have some fun now. So we're going to go through like 3 exercises task now. It's going to be fun, thought-provoking, and some of them are going to be motivational. Are we all ready? I have enabled chat for everybody, so you should be able to communicate. And indeed, so you are going to need to respond. You have to give answers for many of those things right now. Okay. All right. The first puzzle or task is count the number of squares that you are seeing on the screen. So you have 2 minutes and start dropping your answer. In fact, don't drop the message in the chat. I will launch a poll after 2 minutes. Right now it's 7:14. So I will launch a poll at 7:17. In the meanwhile, take time to determine the number of squares in the puzzle that you are seeing on the screen. So take a couple of minutes and determine the answer. And in the meanwhile, I'll have the poll ready for you guys. So we already started getting responses, guys. So let's see how many of you would get it right. We already have 29 responses. 29 responses. So we have 1 more minute. So 1 more minute. 38 responses. 39, 40. All right, so let me end the poll and we'll see what the results are. So let me share the results. Let's see if you're able to see this. All right. Okay. So I see 40, 45, 36. There are many variants. I think I need to switch to a web portal to see the actual answers. So which I don't want to disturb now. BODs are not eligible. Okay, now let me give you the answer. Oh, no, I'll not give the answer. So let me share the answer. Let's see how many of you get it. Okay. You don't need to like, share, subscribe, because that's a new video from YouTube. So how many of you got it right? Can you just give me a show of hands? Good. We have few folks who got it right. So 51 is the answer. So whoever got it right, I think Lakshmi Narayana, Pratik, Amod, Seshu, I see 4 hands. Congratulations, guys. Fell short by 16. Okay, now let's go to the next one, the interesting one. Okay. Depict this picture for me. Drop a note in the chat. What is this picture? Depict this picture for me. I mean, identify the picture basically. What is the location? Great. Pretty much everybody got it. So it's the Taj Hotel in Mumbai, right? So when we talk about Taj, I think most of us get struck by the 2611, right? While there is a lot of sad part from 2611, there is one beacon of hope, a great motivational story that came out of the 2611 with respect to the Taj attack. And today we're going to go through that case study. And most importantly, in fact, the case study is so prevalent that Harvard wrote a business case or business case, right, for this specific Taj incident. So today we're going to go through that and learn about some of the organizational dynamics, behaviors, whatnot. The name of the case study is The Ordinary Heroes of Taj. You can do a Google. I'm sure you'll find a lot of information on this, but let's get to the details here. So it's a case study on the organizational behavior. So how Taj employees acted on that day as very pivotal in terms of saving lives on that day. So just to give you some important statistics, right? So there are it's a 103 years hotel. On that day, there are 500 hotel guests checked in, and 600 guests are in the restaurants and banquets, and there are 600 staff members, right? Now, let's see what these employees have done.
Many even came back inside after leading guests out of the building. Members of the hotel's team of telephone operators, originally evacuated, voluntarily returned to their stations and stayed on all night.
They became the hub of communication at that point. They were the ones calling every single guest room, talking to the guests and telling them to stay in, don't step out, lock your door.
As the terrorists roamed the halls, telephone operators instructed trapped guests to pull their key cards to turn off the illuminated "Occupied" button in the hallway outside their doors.
The attack started at 9:30 in the evening. Till 4 o'clock they were answering guest calls. I think that speaks a lot for a hotel under attack.
Among the guests at the Taj that night were members of the Global Board of Directors and senior management team of Unilever, who had gathered along with their spouses to honor incoming and outgoing CEOs.
So we had this really elaborate 7-course meal, and that was sort of the setting, the mood. There was warmth, there was laughter, there was a perfect setting for a nostalgic farewell and a perfect setting for a nice welcome. And I heard what seemed to me, which is an untrained ear, like firecrackers in the hotel.
We started getting these text messages and phone calls. There were some gunmen on the loose. The only logical thing to do was to close the doors and just stay put.
Malika came to us and said, "We think there's a problem. We're not sure what exactly it is, but I request all of you to be on the ground right now." The level of calm and composure that the staff displayed was amazing, was absolutely amazing, because they had the presence of mind to even advise us, saying, "Couples, please separate, don't stay at the same place, just be in different corners of the room."
65 lives at stake, so can't take a chance. So obviously we were in touch with security all the time and had a lot of alcohol in the room, so that helped a little.
All right. So now that we have seen what the employees have done on that day.
So difficult that time. We used to work from Thailand time to Nigeria time. Imagine. So it was very bad day.
No, Hiral, sorry, we could not hear you.
2-3 years.
All right. So now let's look at. Okay, let me ask you a question. So there are 600 staff members on that day, right? It's very obvious that staff knows all the ins and outs of the hotel, so they can easily leave. That's a human psychology, right? So they can easily escape from the scenario. And can you take a guess how many staff member fled the scene when the moment happened? Out of 600, how many have left? I see chat. I mean, take a guess. If that's hard, maybe take a guess on the percentage, right? Good. I think we have a decent enough size participation. Yes, I think most of you got it right. The answer is none. So that's what amazed all the organizational behavior psychologists, right? The general human tendency at that time is to flood the scene, given that you know all the back doors, but none of them have left. So
Many even
the behavior or the trait that's that's exhibited by the employees on that day is called extreme ownership. So what is extreme ownership? is a leadership philosophy that emphasizes total responsibility and accountability for all aspects of a leader's team, mission, and outcomes. So within their own world, everybody took their responsibility, and their mission being saving guests at that time. So everybody stepped up, which is what the logic behind this amazing case study. Now let's look at exactly what the Taj leadership has to say.
Way, because I was there, I was looking after the function, I was responsible. I could have been the youngest in the room, and I know at one point of time I was the youngest in the room, but I was still doing my job.
The easiest thing for our staff to do at that point in time was to drop whatever they were doing and run out of the hotel. Not one did that, not one.
I come from an army background, not myself but my father, he retired as a general in the army. And he often used to say, when I was even appointed here as the general manager, he used to often tell me that you are now like the captain of the ship. And I think that's the way you think, that you are the captain of the ship, and you have to be the last one to leave, and if it sinks, you sink with it.
Ensure the guests were safe.
I don't think we would have made it out of the hotel without the support, the assurance, the constant service orientation that the staff provided, without doubt, which is why we will continue to be so grateful to them.
I can't explain it. There were no manuals, there were no instructions for what should be done under the circumstances. So what seems to have happened is individuals, from the waiters to the managers of the restaurants, all had this goal of let's get the guests to safety.
Now, this is interesting, right? So even the great Sir Ratan Tata also could not explain what their employees had done on that day. Now, can you take a guess what is the drive or motivation for them, the way they acted on that day? Any guesses? You can leave a note on the chat. Yeah, ownership, but what drove that ownership? What is the work culture, safety, loyalty, customer first, save the guests, commitment, accountability, customer service satisfaction. So all these are basically if you call something called the leading and lagging, right? So these are all the leading indicators. So what you are seeing, but what are something on the lagging indicators that drove this commitment, accountability, customer first, leadership, whatnot? Some great responses coming, guys. And everybody's right. Everybody's right. But from an organizational standpoint, organizational psychology and organizational behavior standpoint, so there was some specific analysis done by Harvard, and let's listen to that findings. And it actually is a very amazing study or outcome of that analysis done by Harvard.
Because I was.
So let's listen to this.
Harvard. I bring this case study back, and I teach this at the Harvard Business School as a case study of leadership from below. You know, we teach usually about leadership as being something from the top that filters down. This is leadership from below. It's just amazing. And I ask my students, how do you explain it? And they have plausible explanations for the behavior of the employees. Some of them say, well, it must be the culture, the national culture of India. You know, there must be something in the value system there that explains it. And in fact, there is. It turns out that there is a value or a belief that says a guest is to be treated like God. When a guest enters your home, treat her or him like God. Atiti Devo Bhava in Sanskrit. Other students say, no, it's not national culture, it's corporate culture. If the Taj Hotels is owned by this family, the
I
Tata
don't think we
Group,
would have made it
they
out
have
of
a
the
long
hotel
history in
without
India of
the
very
support, the
benevolent
assurance, the
human
constant,
resource policies. A family
service
of
orientation that the
integrity
staff provided, without doubt.
in
Which
their
is why
business
we will
dealings.
continue
It's
to
the
be so
national,
grateful
it's
to
the
them.
corporate culture.
I
And
can't
others say,
explain it.
no, it's not
There were
that.
no
This happened at a
manuals.
hotel.
Sorry, I thought something is playing in the background.
Way because I was there.
Harvard, I bring this case study back and
That the
integrity
staff provided, without doubt.
in
Which
their
is why
business
we will
dealings.
continue
It's
to
the
be so
national,
grateful
it's
to
the
them.
corporate
I
culture. And
can't
others say,
explain it.
no, it's not
There were
that.
no
This happened at a
manuals, there
hotel.
were no,
It's the industry
instructions for
culture.
what
It's
should be done under
hospitality.
circumstances.
Employees are trained
And so what
to
seems to
serve
have happened
customers.
is
So that's what's going on.
individuals
All of
from
these
the
are very
waiters
plausible.
to the managers
So,
of the
along with another
restaurants,
colleague, I decided to go back
all had
into
this,
the Taj
goal
Hotel
of,
company records to try to
let's get
understand
the
their
guests
human
to
resource
safety.
policy. Who were these people? Who were these staff? Where did they find them? How did they recruit them? How did they motivate them? How did they train them? And I learned lots of really, really intriguing things. Let me share, in the interest of time, just 3 of them with you. Calcutta or Madras. They recruit them from small towns. Haldia, Chandigarh, Nashik, Tiruchirappalli, small towns. And they recruit students, graduating students, for attitude, not grades. They ask their headmasters or their teachers, who are the students that you teach who have the most respect for older people, for their parents, for the teachers? They're not looking for the people, the students who do the best in grades, but rather for attitude. Then training. This is fascinating. You know, you've heard of brand ambassadors. Lots of companies, many organizations perhaps that you represent, train their frontline staff to be ambassadors for the brand, for the company. You know what they do at the Taj hotels? They train their frontline employees to be ambassadors for the customer, for the guest. It's very different. It's counterintuitive. They call them guest ambassadors. They believe frontline employees should be the voice of the client, of the customer, of the guest to the company. And third, and perhaps most importantly, their motivation system, their reward system, incentives, is not just monetary. They pay about average, little above average in that hotel sector in India. But they reward people with recognition, personal recognition. So when an employee does something that delights customers and the guest writes a note, within 48 hours that employee is recognized. 48 hours. They don't have to wait for a Diwali or a Christmas bonus. It happens within 48 hours. Amazing. In fact, they won the International Hermes Award for an innovation in human resource management for this STARS program. So let me
Yeah, so that explains the core culture, right? And what are the policies that drove that kind of a behavior with the employees on that day. So it's pretty amazing that only when there is some adverse thing that happens, that's when we're actually seeing the true outcome of those policies or organizational behavior traits that are truly outstanding. All right. So can you just show a raise of hands? How many of you know this case study in the past, I mean, before this session? Good. We have about 4 to 5 folks, 6 folks who knows this case study ahead. Good. Yeah, it's truly a great motivational story on the Taj culture, Tata's culture. Okay, now let's move to the next segment. So another interesting segment. So wherein we are gonna
Harvard, I bring
Okay, it's a one word riddle. I would like everybody to solve it and wait for a minute, and then you drop your message in the chat. I see one unanimous answer called secret, which I don't think is correct. Are there any alternates that you could think of? I see a couple of other variants. Once I stress test a little bit, the answer is indeed secret. So well done, guys. I think a lot of you got it. The only thing is when I stress tested, I think some of you has probably pressurized a little bit, but the answer is indeed secret. Great. Now, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to do something more fun now. Where is this? I'm just looking for some reason I'm not seeing the breakout rooms. Okay. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna, sorry. No, it should be there. As a host, I have that option. I don't know why it's missing. Okay, I'm gonna drop 2 links in the chat, guys. So one is called a buyer, another one is called a seller. So you have to pick only one. You have to pick only one. And give me 1 second while I enable the sorry for the technical challenge. Okay, I think I'll have to enable it, guys. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry for this delay, but I'm sure it's going to be worth. All right, I think let's improvise, guys. I think I don't want to waste time. So I want 2 volunteers. If you could show a raise of hands. So we're going to do a small game. So Nilima and Joseph. All right. So Nilima and Joseph, I'm going to put 2 links here. For Nilima, please download the first one. And Joseph, please download the next one. And all of you are open to. Okay, so any other volunteer? Okay, Renu and Joseph. So Joseph, you can take this. I'm going to promote you guys as I'll allow you to talk. Joseph and Renu. I'm allowing both of you to talk. So Renu, which one did you choose? There is one called buyer, one called seller.
I will choose seller.
Okay. So Joseph, you will be buyer.
Okay.
So if you could download the respective one.
But I don't see the link actually.
Yeah, even I don't see any link.
Oh, is it? Okay, then 1 second. I think probably I pasted to. Oh, to everybody, to everyone. Okay. So try now. The first one is the buyer.
Okay.
And the second one is seller.
Who is the buyer? I am the buyer, right?
Yeah, Joseph, you are the buyer. Renu will be the seller.
Okay.
It's a 1-page case study. Rest of you guys can download and go through both of the pages. And Joseph, you're only allowed to take the first one with the buyer, and Renu, you're allowed to take only the seller.
Okay.
I'll give everybody can take a couple of minutes to go through the case study. You're able to download, right, Joseph, Renu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take a couple of minutes. So 7:48 now. So 7:50 we will do live negotiation. I hope everybody's downloading and reviewing the case. And it's going to be interesting perspective because the rest of the team is actually going through both the documents from both buyer and seller. Right, we have 1 more minute, team. Joseph, Rain, are you good? So you guys can say when you are ready to discuss. Okay, Renu is ready. Joseph, are you ready?
Yeah, I am ready.
Okay, so team Joseph is the buyer, Renu is the seller, to reiterate. Okay, guys, floor is open for both of you to negotiate and let us know the final value.
Okay. So can Renu go first, being a seller? Then I can put my points.
Okay. So I'm okay. Let us start.
That's fine. It's
So
just
yeah.
Sorry. It's just a game, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. So right now I'm selling the property, the sitting property. So, and I would like to, offer this around, and I would say 500 crores. So let me see what your offer is and what are your questions and all.
Okay. First thing is, since it's in the outskirts, there will be a lack of transportation or any other facilities, right? Amenities. Okay. If I have to set up a commercial thing, and if I have to go for a residential project, the only problem is people are not ready to relocate because it's an underdeveloped area. Okay. And due to a lot of restriction with respect to political and legal obligations, I have to check that what will be the cost involved in case if I have to procure this land at 500 crore project. First thing. And second thing is, so the best thing is, see, unless and until even if I cannot go for a condominium or a villa project, initially I have to sell partially. See, I have to split it into two. My approach is initially I have to set up some short plots or something, and over a period of time I will construct the villa projects. Whoever is interested, and partially I will just give it for commercial so that it will be a combined value. So this is all a insight actually. So it will take some time to develop, and even if I have to reap the profit, I don't think I can do it in 500 crore unless and until you give it for me somewhere around 350 crore or something, because the luxury villa, see, many people who want to prefer the luxury villa, right? They feel any international school or banks or hospitals or any saloons or gym or their status, right? Which will match their expectation. Unless and until that is in line with their expectation, I cannot sell those plots, be it how much ever I can give it a little bit lesser compared to the thing, because they have to go there, and moreover the safety will be less just because it's in outskirts of Hyderabad. Okay, so what will be your quote actually on this one, because I cannot go beyond 300 to 350 max, not beyond that.
Yeah, but when you are developing the luxury condominiums on this property, you know, the valuation of this will definitely increase in the long term, right? And the property as a, I mean, you have high return investment, and so yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
No, go ahead. You complete it, then I can put forth my points. Yeah, you can complete. Renu?
Yeah, sure. And see there, and there is also a high demand for this, you know, because it is an outskirts and all, you know, people like the lifestyle is now changing. People prefer you know, somewhere a peaceful life where, you know, where the option is also available for a remote from home option is nowadays available for working and all. So people prefer a peaceful life, a better, you know, environment friendly life and all. So that's the reason. I mean, that would really, you know, escalate your prices. That's what my.
You have 2 more minutes to conclude.
Yeah. That's what my. So I still would. I can negotiate it a little bit. I can go down a little bit, but not up to 300 and all. That's too less, I would say. Maybe around 450 or something.
So in that 450 crore, so you are ready to take up the political issues and sorry, not the political issues, that zoning restrictions and other developments which needs to happen if I want to do that. Is that possible?
Joseph, scope remains same, so you cannot change that. Pass on some of the scope to Renu.
Okay. Then in that case, see, whatever you are telling, right, work from home, unless and until there is a network. See, even in developed cities, like we are seeing a lot of lag in the cities. Okay. They won't set up a tower unless and until they see a potential for the business there. And that will take a long time. Okay. In this case, I cannot go even with a 450 crore, right?
Okay. So now you have to conclude. You have 30 seconds.
Okay,
So,
my last
450, and I
offer.
think you are at 350, right, Joseph?
Yeah, 350.
My
So
last offer price, I would say still 400, not less than that. That's my last offer.
Probably we can come to a middle ground rather than 350 or 400. In the middle ground, we can fix it up at 375 if you're okay.
Yeah, that seems to be okay. Thank you.
Okay, then. Thanks.
Thank you.
Deal closed. Great. So now I would ask the rest of the guys who has seen both sides of the version, right, to comment whether 375 is reasonable, low, high. 375 is reasonable, low, high. Any comments from the rest of the team who has seen both sides of it? Win-win for both. Okay. Low. Let me share both those things. We have 3 more minutes. We'll finish on time. Okay. So first, let me share the buyer version here, and then I'll share the seller version also. See, buyer, there's a lot of information here, but for buyer, your goal is to purchase the property at the best possible price below 550 crore. So 550 crore should be the target for buyer. Okay, he or she cannot go beyond 550. It has to be below 550. So first goal, I think Joseph has met. Now let's look at seller. For seller, your target price should be at least 310 crores based on the comparable land sales offered from other developers that are around. So even from Renu's side or the seller side, it's met. So basically from a MBA term, right, there's a term called ZOPA, Zone of Potential Agreement, right? So the zone of potential agreement here is between 310 and 500. 310 and 550. Now, given this scenario, probably we are slightly on the lower side, given 310 versus 375, because there is still a lot of room on the upward side. Okay. So I was actually planning to do this in a breakout room so that everybody will have this opportunity to negotiate. But I think webinar did not allow that. So, which is fine. I think we still had a good exposure. Hope everybody has enjoyed this case. So we have 1 more minute. Komal, I will hand out over. Okay, let me share this screen back. So with this, we will be finishing our entertainment part as well, or the fun part, I should say, not just the entertainment. So this is Suresh. I am the Director of Volunteering for PMI Pearl City Chapter. So thanks for your time and the opportunity to conduct the second half of the session. Thank you. Back to you, Komal.
Thank you, Suresh, for this engaging session. I hope everybody had a good time going through all the interesting case studies and point of views. I'm sure there are many responses. Sorry about some glitches that we had. We are still struggling with the online platforms, I guess, after so many years, but it happens. That's part and parcel of these kind of sessions. But I hope everybody enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for taking out time on a working day to join us, and look forward to more participation and your continued volunteering efforts for your chapters. Thank you and happy Volunteers Day once again. Have a good rest of the evening. See you also.
Happy Volunteers Day, everyone, again. Thank you.